In the connected era, information is always at your fingertips. What makes your message stand out? In this series, we are going to meet a diverse range of people whose messages are influencing the masses. Let's find out how. In this episode of Gallery of Ideas Connect, we have an inspiring, engaging, energetic, and entirely entertaining interview with the legendary Mark Bowden.
The #1 body language professional in the world. Clients include leading business people, politicians, presidents of Fortune 500 companies, and prime ministers. He's written best-selling books about body language and human behavior. Mark Bowden. So great to be here with you.
I've experienced going on in front of thousands and in some cases millions of audience. You aren't predestined to be a great communicator. You learn that. Everything can be learned.
So, you've already decided whether you like me or not. I'm Mark Bowden, and I'm an expert in...
Love the chase and the hunt.
Welcome to Gallery of Ideas. What an honor to have you here with us. It's really amazing. After so
pleasure.
long, our audience here in Barcelona, they're so excited about this interview. There has been so many questions. People asking me, Patricia, please ask him this or ask him that. The first one is, where are you from? What happens? I mean, when did you get to North America? What was the shift there, from where you come from? And what inspires the little Mark to become the world's renowned body language expert?
So I was originally born in a town in England called Northampton, which is 60 miles north of London. And when I was around the age of 17, 18, I moved down to London in order to study there. And I was studying visual arts, performing arts, how to tell stories with pictures, essentially. And I was in that area because I'd been obsessed as a kid with images and how you tell those stories with pictures, how images, and especially moving images, especially of people, can influence and persuade other people. So I studied in that area. I spent many years working in the area of performing arts and visual arts and helping all kinds of things, film, TV, theatre, tell the stories that they wanted to tell by helping them construct the exact images they would need in order to trigger audiences into patterns of behaviour. I then started working in business and politics around that. By the way, at that time I was now living in London. London is still, I think, the city that I've lived in the longest. Yeah, probably it would still be the city I've lived in longest. And I was working all over the world as well in this field, in this area. And then 13 years ago, myself and Tracy, my wife, we were having our first kid, Lex, and we had the ability to come to Toronto and live here. Tracy's Canadian. And it seemed a great opportunity to try out, and the right time to try out somewhere else and take advantage of Canada's proximity, not only obviously to its own market, but also the US market and the world market from there for what I do, which is helping people all over the world stand out, win trust, gain credibility every time they communicate. And really that's from the standpoint of nonverbal communication, working out what you can do exactly with your body language in order to win trust and credibility. There you go.
Related to a talk that I gave in 2013, TEDx in Toronto, I have a feeling that we are living now in this world that we are almost obliged to be happy all the time, right? There's this sense of happiness that it's related to success. You need to be happy all the time. You need to be authentic. You need to go out there and show your true self. And then you come with your talk, the importance of being inauthentic. Bang! Right. Just break all the rules.
And so, look, first of all, obviously there's something in the title about being inauthentic, which absolutely is the exact opposite of what I felt to be the culture and the overriding zeitgeist of a certain niche of the world, and this idea of being authentic, and also what I might call authenticity shaming, which is people saying to others, you know, I don't think you're really being authentic, and that being some kind of insult, as if they'd know if somebody's being authentic or not, truly being themselves, as if they'd know that. People had set themselves up as these kind of mind readers of being able to tell if somebody's being truthful or honest or authentic, you know, true to themselves. Only that person can ever work out whether they're being true to themselves. So I was seeing a lot of this going about, and as you can probably imagine, it really annoyed me. Rich, I just found it very, 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 very annoying. And also I found it very closed-minded, because it didn't take into account the understanding that we play roles in lives. We have personas. We're very complex human beings. And one of the joys of being human is you can pick on aspects of yourself that you specifically want to bring forward to people at a certain time and a certain place to better serve them, to better serve you. Even if it feels uncomfortable to you, you can bring forward an aspect of your personality, a persona. Especially in professional circles, you might need to bring forward a bit of a professional persona to help and serve other people. And that's what I would believe is social. We are in now the medium of happiness. That's the culture that's around
fashion. Yes.
Yeah. And you got to understand that we all have the ability to create this media. We're all therefore consuming this happy media, and then looking at our own lives and going, God, why am I not as successful and happy as Mark was on that webcast that he was doing today?
Yeah, and no one can enjoy anything anymore just by experiencing. Let's say you go to a mountain and you are observing the nature. There is no space for this anymore. You have to be in the mountain, selfie, #mountain. Wow, I arrived. I'm here. I'm sharing the location. There are many qualities that you have that I admire in a person. You are very open-minded, friendly, funny, wise. But there is one quality that I love, which is you're very humble. You know, I have a feeling that it's never about you. You're always trying to, to create greatness for the other. How do you see, the people that are still struggling with that mindset of I have to compete to survive? Because I believe it is more about being, in a togetherness space.
Yeah, good question. So, first of all, I would say, though it may not come across to you for reasons that I'll explain in a moment, I am very competitive. However, I'm competitive in a really small area, which is the area of nonverbal communication. Listen, just never compete at anything with lots of players in.
Yeah. But you're always sharing everything from Joe Navarro. You're always helping all your colleagues, so that's...
Yeah, of course, because there's not many of us out there. Why wouldn't I? I mean, and they're competitors to me. Gosh, that they have different niches to me. They're thinking about it in a different way. They have different backgrounds to me. I mean, we all have the same aim, pretty much, entirely, I would probably say. So let's take Joe, who's just a fantastic guy and a great expert in his area, and an incredible background that gives him that wealth of knowledge and massive credibility. Why would I need to compete against him? Can I compete against him? Like, don't compete against somebody you can't win. I don't know whether I can win against Joe in his area. I don't have his, but there's no way I can't sit here and go, yeah, I was one of the youngest people ever to be taken into the FBI. So I wasn't. I've never been in the FBI.
That's
Joe
nothing
Hatt,
so,
extraordinary guy, one of the youngest people ever to be in the FBI. Extraordinary. Came to America not knowing English, taught himself English. No, I've not done that. Interrogated and interviewed, some extraordinary criminal minds. No, not me. Haven't done it. So there's no point in competing in areas that you cannot win, or in my mind. I know there might be people out there who go, hey, yeah, no, go on, compete at something you can't win at. It's like, no, I'm only alive so long.
Thank you, no.
Do something I can win at and be the best at. So yes, I am competitive, but I'm being really careful about choosing exactly where I'm competitive. So I stand myself the best chance of success in that area, because I know that success feels very, very good. And when you're successful at something, you tend to get just more successful at it. And the key is getting your first moments of success, so the body and mind get used to that idea, and the body and mind go, okay, I think we could manage a bit more of that. So I kind of worked this out, and I've decided only compete at stuff you can win at. But
there's there's also the sense, collaborating with others and sharing others' creations and things. That people that are very competitive, maybe taken in a bad way, saying that they are even jealous of that, potential or something that they can never become, because it's completely different from their path, their stories. And I think that's when that person gets really limited, and there is no way you can grow. So for me, the areas of growth is actually taking your example, which I find it fantastic. I think the way you always are pushing everyone in the industry and highlighting everyone as a work, for me, it's
sure, because you can't do it on your own. You can't get,
that's my point,
you can't get an area recognized and really helpful to people on your own. Joe helps promote that area. Amy Curty helps promote that area. The more successful they are, the more people go, oh yeah, body language, that's a kind of interesting area. Yeah. So the more I can help promote them, the more people might reach out to me. There's another guy out there, a little newer on the scene. I mean, he's been around this area a long time, but mainly working in the US Army, and so been dedicated to that. But a guy called Chase Hughes, take a look at him, does some incredible work in this area. Just retired from the US Army a couple of weeks ago, is now out there delivering some incredible training around nonverbal communication. So a little promotion of him. But again, the more I promote Chase, the more people learn about this area, the more they get fascinated, and the more they might go, hey, Mark, come in and do a keynote, or come and train my people. Or
absolutely,
it doesn't hurt me. Look, there's 7.6 billion people on the planet right now. Most of them are not thinking about me.
Really?
Yeah, most of them have no idea that I exist. And how can I get more of them to know that I exist? Well, it might not be about shouting about me. It might be about shouting about other people, so that they at least get the idea of the area, and then come into my world.
Your books, you've written several books, and the last one you've written with Tracy, your wife. So what inspired you guys to write Truth and Lies? What was behind
what inspired us? Well, like a lot of things in my life, first of all, there was no inspiration. We were just asked to write it. The publishers went, will you write
something this year?
Yeah, will you write a book on reading body language? So that was their specific thing. We want you to write a book on reading body language. And pretty much instantly, within a few minutes, I'd sent back a message saying, no, I'm not going to write that. Because there's a lot of books out there on...
And you've written already, no?
I've written 2 on how to use your body language to influence and persuade. I'd written one on evolutionary neural architecture, the way your brain is built,
and the primitive,
and why, therefore, you behave in certain ways and other people behave in certain ways, and they annoy the hell out of you, and what you can do about that. And there were already a lot of good books by others around reading body language, and I was very unsure as to what I could really do to make this world, you know, to add to that world. Anyway, so instantly we kind of said no. And then I thought, I shouldn't have said no, because I should think a little bit more carefully about what would a really good book on reading body language look like if I wrote it? What would the perfect, you know, great book on reading body language look like if I wrote it? And what I came up with is it would actually be a book on critical thinking disguised as a book on body language. So it would help people think better about other people, and they'd learn how to do that because they were interested in reading body language. Now, they would end up knowing how to do that, but they'd know a more critical thinking process, a better process for that. So Truth and Lies, what people are really thinking, it takes you through a critical thinking process so that you can think better and more accurately about others. It does have all the really great body language stuff that you want to know, like, you know, what does this mean, or what does this mean, or, you know, what if they touch that, you know, what, it's got all of that in it. But what it's really trying to do is help you think more carefully and accurately about that. So that's what inspired us to write it. Now, it's also the first ever book on body language that is gender neutral. So at no point does it ever go, hey, guys do this and girls do this, men do this and women do this. It because the majority of that has zero accuracy to it. People do all kinds of stuff. Genders and sexes tend to be their behaviors be amplified or diminished by culture, by ideas about how certain genders or sexes should perform. Because physically, we're absolutely, you know, male and female, masculine, feminine, we're more similar than we're ever going to have any differences. What tends to happen is ideas about us enforce or constrain or amplify the behaviors that we have, and then societies or cultures go, hey, that's male, that's female. So we've stripped that out, and of course Tracy was a huge part of that. It's very difficult as a male to write without gender bias. Very difficult for a female to write without gender bias. We all have bias. So having the two of us write it not only brought some really big new ideas, but helped with that idea of trying to eradicate the gender bias. Again, not because eradicating gender bias is, you know, a popular thing to do right now, simply because it's accurate. It's just more accurate.
It is.
Just more truthful about the way people behave and also how to think about people. So there's the impulse for it.
Mark, there is a question with regards Dr. Albert Mehrabian, where he explains about, he has this formula about nonverbal communication where 93% is nonverbal and 7% is verbal. Why do you think this study got so much attention? And what are your thoughts about this study?
Yeah, so first of all, I've looked at the study, as opposed to many other people who've never looked at the study. It's a pretty good study, done a long time back now, with in
the 70s.
In the 70s, with less people in it than you'd need now to make it a robust study. However, all that said, what he comes up with is that the data that your brain wants in order to make a prediction about somebody else's feeling and intention towards you. The data that your brain wants, it mainly wants to see images of that person. It somewhat wants to hear the tonality of their voice, and it really has no concern for what they're saying, okay? And that gets mashed into this idea of 93% of all communication is nonverbal. Now, he never said that. Never said that. He kind of said what I just said to you a while back, which is your brain, when it wants to know, when it's thinking, I wonder what that person is thinking about me or feeling about me right now. It goes, what are they doing? And it does that. It wants the majority of the data. He would have said maybe 55% of the data that it's wanting to make that decision is the images that it's seeing and the context of those images as well, and how they move. The brain's also going, oh, how do they sound? What's their tonality? What's the music of their voice? And about a third of the information that it's wanting to take in is that musicality. And then only 7% is the words. But that isn't 93% of all communication is nonverbal. If that was the case, you could go and watch any feature film with the sound turned off, and you would get pretty much exactly what anybody with the sound turned on was getting. A book would be pointless because a book is verbal. You'd never listen to radio or podcasts. Be pointless because 93% of all the communication would be gone. So obviously that's not true. That's just not, that's a total misinterpretation.
How to wow a room, especially for the people in the industry, there's coaches and trainers that are maybe, because you've trained and you've worked with high politicians, business leaders, 500 Fortune, teams and so on. So for that person that is starting, to get that first powerful client, and he needs to enter and make that impact and make that powerful person look at him and trust him. What would be, give 3 tips.
All right. Okay. So here's 3 tips. And then I'm going to move them a little bit away from body language, because to an extent, in terms of the body language piece, it's really about using what I call the TRUTHPLANE. If you want to know about that, just get over to truthplane.com, because it's just full of stuff on that really you'd only get to hear if you were training with me personally. So here's my top tip, and it does come in 3 parts, and it goes like this. Make a choice, make it bigger, and keep it tidy. Make a choice, make it bigger, keep it tidy. So when you want to wow people, first of all, make a choice as to what you're going to do. A choice, not many choices. Choose one thing. The key to really good performance, and especially nonverbal performance, is being razor sharp, being focused on what you're going to get across. Yeah, so make that choice. And then all you do is make it bigger. Yeah, you're now going to amplify that choice. So the initial choice that you make is usually a safe choice. Here's the next bit is keep it tidy. What we tend to do is we make the choice and we make it bigger. And then we go, and we'll add a bit of this and we'll add a bit of that. And we'll add a bit of this just to countermeasure the risk of this. And then you muddy it. You just muddy it.
What about one-to-one sessions where somebody from the agency you brought in front of this guy or this woman, and then suddenly they look, okay, who are you? What are you supposed to do with me? What do I have to do? So, that sense of, I don't trust you. I don't know who you are. How do you get them to instantly look at you and say, wow, I like you. I'm going to open up and we're going to start our session?
Yeah. So I've got one of those tomorrow. I'm with a leader tomorrow who leads a government. So, So now, first of all, you got to get in the room. Okay. Now,
first step.
First point, like you can't walk up to these people
No.
on the whole, and knock on their office. There's a whole bunch of security, and you have to give people passports, and they have to frisk, check you for weapons and all. And they do background searches on you and all kinds of stuff.
The color of your underwear to see.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's just say that on the whole, before you're even getting in that room, you have proved yourself or been proven to others who look after that person in some way. But that's not enough, because before you go in there, they're very worried. They're like,
who are you?
Yeah. They're like, is this going to be okay?
Because you're entering my space, you are.
Absolutely. Well, it's a risk for them to introduce somebody new in the team. Anyway, what you need to do is look at them and say, it's okay, don't worry, it's going to be fine, it's going to be all right.
You're going to have fun.
Yeah.
I always say.
And when you walk in that room, now also when you walk in that room and you see that person and you've seen them on TV and you know what they run and how much power they have, something inside you goes, oh, right, okay, wow. That's the person, isn't it? Yes, they're the person who runs a lot of stuff. Okay. And then you kind of go, wow, what have I done now? What have I done now? What kind of mess have I got myself into now? So, you can get some performance anxiety around that. You can get some, so you got to manage that for yourself.
In your case, it's something that you are totally in your flow, right? As described by Csikszentmihalyi, you have the challenge at hand and your abilities, kind of line up. Obviously, if you are in a situation where your skills are very low and the challenge is so big, as Csikszentmihalyi says, obviously it's not going to work out. But in your case, you are there in a situation like this, you are in the flow. So anyone that is in a situation like yours, that has the skills, that's confident that they have the knowledge to help that person, if they are a trainer or a coach, that's the first step. The second one is just a person, like you, with all the basic needs. No, it's just another person. So I think that, and also I would say, not taking everything so seriously, because that's where we get sometimes trapped in our mind, like, oh my gosh, tomorrow I have this thing with this person and I can't sleep because this person is that important. So I guess for me, it's the combination of three: having the skills to be able to do it, as otherwise get out of there, being confident because you know your thing, and not take so seriously. Now, Mark, to end our interview, I wanted to do a game with you. Maybe it's a challenge. So I'm going to point out 5 Brazilian gestures, very specific, probably never seen in your life.
Okay, fascinating.
5 Brazilian gestures, and I want you to decipher and tell me what do you think they mean. Okay, for Brazilian.
Okay. Oh wow. Okay, so we're totally talking a different language here.
Yes, totally. So it's just nonverbal. Okay, I'm going to help with micro expressions. I'm going to help you a little bit with micro expressions. Okay, so let's start with this one.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So it feels to me like so what's interesting is I've never seen that.
It's very Brazilian, yeah.
Okay. So it feels. So you had with it this downward turn of the mouth. So there's some kind of negativity in there, and it feels to me like you're brushing and hitting stuff away. So I'm going to say something about brushing off and casting away something that's bad. So it's kind of like we're not bothered with that.
We don't care. Not interesting.
Yeah. Wow. What a gesture. When would what are circumstances that you might do that? Is it casual gesture? Is it a formal gesture?
No, we do it a lot casual, more casual. Yeah. No, formal. Okay. No, formal. It's more. I don't really care. Yeah. So it's so quick. Yeah.
Yeah. Because in European culture, we might have the run along, brush away. It's just with one hand. Yeah. I mean, this is interesting because it takes more energy. It's bigger.
Yeah, it does.
Like you can see it more. Whereas we kind of go, no, we're not bothered with that. And it's a little gesture.
Yeah.
But then Europe can be a bit colder, and you don't want to do too big a gesture. Because you'll open up your body and you'll get cold too quick. Whereas, like whatever. Nice and warm there.
All right, second one.
Give me another. Lovely. Oh, okay. Okay, so there was something in your face as well. Kind of had that. It was slightly kind of almost a little bit seductive, a little bit kind of, what's going on there? And there's friction between two things here, yeah? And so I'm guessing it's about a couple of people getting on well. It's like, they're getting on.
Oh my God, you are
getting on well, aren't they? They're getting on well. They're matching something. They're making some heat.
Yeah, they're planning. Yeah, they're into something here. Yeah, so we use that trying to say, this chair, yeah.
So is that gesture? Would that be about people getting on at a friend or a sexual level, or could it be two business people who are getting on?
Anyone planning something and said, this too.
Okay. Yeah, it's like they're rubbing two sticks together. They're making some fire.
Yeah, it's not sexual, not related to sexual. It's just, they are into something that we don't know. This too. Usually.
Okay, so it's whatever it is you don't know at that point. It's like we don't know. They're up to something, but we don't know what it is.
Something, yeah. So we
go. Okay, nice. Nice, good. I like that.
All right. Oh my goodness.
You got another? Have you got another?
You are amazing. Okay, let me see another one. Yeah.
Okay. Gosh. Okay.
The ice cream in the head.
Ice cream. Okay. I think that's okay. So it's a fist to the head. So there's some kind of impact there, hammer-like impact to the thinking. Hammer-like impact to the thinking. It's like, so it must be something about I've got it wrong or I don't understand it.
Oh, I can't believe I just did it.
Okay.
I'm so stupid.
Okay.
How can I have done this?
How can I have done
You're good. Oh.
Okay, so yeah, in a lot of kind of European, North American gesture, it's more the slap to the head rather than this has a lot more.
Yeah. Oh, how stupid.
Oh, ow. That's great. I love that gesture. Good.
All right, so
two more. Three for three. Okay, good.
Okay.
What else?
Okay, this one.
Okay. I think that is something like a more casual idea of the full hand push away, which says, get out of my territory. But this is when you don't need to make much effort about this. It's like, come on, get out. Instead of like, just hold back, get back, get out. This is like, oh, come on, get out, go away with it. Yeah. Lovely.
Unbelievable.
Lovely.
You are amazing. Okay, last one. So let me think. Difficult one for you.
Okay. Ooh.
Yeah, this.
Okay. Ooh. Okay, so we got a fist against a flat hand. Okay. I'm going to say, because, we really are into the world of hand signals here, and there's so much that can happen in these.
Yeah.
It becomes more like language, whereby it's very easy to interpret this wrong. So I'm going to go with what I can know very well, which is it makes this sound.
Let me help you with my face.
Yeah. So your face is has a pain in it. It's like so and the sound is final. So I don't know, it was something about something being final and it causing pain in some or distress in some way.
I'm totally screwed.
Oh, okay. That's it. I'm done.
I'm totally screwed.
Yeah. Okay.
So it is related to pain. Well,
Interesting. Yeah. So this is the like final.
Final.
That sound.
Final.
Look how
Totally.
final that sound is. And then there's the pain in the face.
And you can even use it in a group. We are totally screwed. Yeah.
Okay. Can it be done without the face? Or does it need that, pain in the face?
Yeah. They can just go. Okay. You know, but usually the face will somehow.
Right, the face will react. Yeah. It's no good if I just do it deadpan face.
They will understand. The Brazilian will understand. So, okay. What's going on? We're screwed. What happened? Yeah.
I love all this.
Bravo! You are amazing. Love it. I knew I was going to have a good time.
That was great fun. Listen, it's great because I learned something today. Look, here's the great thing about my world and the world of body language is you never know it all. You never know it all. You have a day like this where you go, wow, I didn't, because these different cultures, it's not just Brazil that's all over the world. There's these different things that happen that are language. They're like real language, which means this might happen somewhere else on the planet, and it means something entirely different.
Totally.
That if you did that in American Sign Language, that's light. So. So, you go around, with some people who have impaired hearing and start doing that, they'll be like, the lights are on.
I'm telling you, go away. I'm looking for the lights.
No, and you go away. All right, we switched on the lights. What's up? So and some body language is language. It's a signal, and those signals, because they're cultural, can mean things in different areas, and some of it is universal. So it was great to be introduced to those ones.
The Brazilian.
Yeah.
Oh, Mark, thank you so much. You are brilliant, beautiful, love it. Love your minds, love your style, love your openness. It's just wonderful to have you here. And send a big kiss to Tracy, and thank you very much. And we send a Brazilian kiss, which is like this. Mwah.
Oh, thank you.
Very seductive.
Back at you. Lovely. Thanks for having me. It's been a great conversation, and I hope we'll talk again.